Saints, listen, do the following when you notice that the public around you invests in a story that really, really does not add up. There's a difference between believing something and investing in it. When you believe something, you should just consider, oh yeah, it may be true. I believe it. To invest in something means that you look for reasons to validate why something is true. It's siding with a story. It's pressing others to believe it too. So when you invest in something, it's beyond believing. When you invest in it, you make it part of yourself. You identify with it and you agree with it. And so if you believe, for example, that someone was abused by her husband, then you may also say, okay, because I believe she may have been abused by her husband, I also side with her now to take legal action against him. That's investing. So with investing, you go further than just simply believing. Now, I'm not talking about just simply believing something, because if someone just believes something that doesn't add up and you show them facts to realize, you may be correct here. But when someone is invested in something that even on the surface, anyone can clearly see this doesn't add up, this is what you do. Saint, do the following. Quietly remove yourself from the situation. Quietly remove yourself from the situation. Don't debate them. Don't show them facts of why they're wrong. Don't try to convince them. Just leave it like that. Again, there's a difference between simply just believing something and actually investing in something. For example, let's say that someone is arrested for rape and he is convicted and he gets a prison sentence. Now, because someone believes in the necessity of the legal system or the prison system, he may say, well, the judge, the jury, they did their job, so I believe the man is guilty. But when you show them facts about the case, that the man was not even in town when the alleged rape happens, then individual realize, well, hold on a minute, if the man was not even around in town, how could he have raped that woman? How can that woman be raped if the guy wasn't even in the city when the rape happened? That alone is an eye-opener that that whole case is a setup and that man in prison is actually the victim. But if someone is invested in believing that the legal system is always correct, because you don't want to consider the alternative that sometimes the legal system may even set people up, because if he needs to accept the fact that sometimes the courthouses and the police may set people up, then that means that he can be set up too. He doesn't want to consider that. He's avoiding that. So he has this pathological trust in the legal system. And because he has this pathological trust in the legal system, he is now invested in believing that that convicted man is guilty, even when evidence and proof shows that the man is innocent. Why is he so invested in believing that man is guilty? Because the alternative means that the man was set up, and that means that he can be set up also one day. So there's something he's avoiding, and because he's avoiding something, he developed this pathological trust in something else. People with a pathological trust in something, it's because there's something else they're avoiding. There's something else they don't want to realize, they don't want to consider, so they develop this pathological trust in something else as a defense mechanism. So there's a difference between simply believing something and being invested in it. When someone, or better said, when a group of people is invested in a story that even on the surface anyone can see nothing adds up about the story, it is because there's something they're hiding. There's something they're running away from. That means those people have one agenda, and that's preserving their image. Because their mental sanity depends on that image that they portray. So those people are not genuine with you. They're not real with you. They just want validation from you. And the moment you can't give them validation, they drop you. Oh, and the moment you question things, oh dear, you are finished. Because now they will perceive you as a threat, and they'll unload all the fright on you. They'll make false police reports about you. They begin to stalk you. They begin to harass you. They begin to make life difficult on you. I'm telling you, when people, I'm talking about groups of people here, It's the same comes for an individual, but when it's an individual, you can recognize it very quickly. When a group of people are invested in a story, whether it's someone that was convicted for a crime or whether it's a part of the national history, when people are invested in something that really cannot be defended and it really does even stick together, man, remove yourself from the situation. I'm not telling you to just cut people off out of the blue, very rough way. No, lower contact peacefully. Lower contact peacefully and move on. Don't debate, don't fight them, don't confront them, lower contact and move forward. Because those people deep down inside know that what they are insisting on is not true. They know it. And it's because they know that it's deep down inside it's not true, that's why they keep insisting on it. And because they're so invested in insisting on it, the moment anyone challenges their investment, they lose it. Because their mental sanity and their social ease in the community depends on them being invested in that story. Look, a story can be factual. So it can be something that actually happens. But even if the thing they hold on to is something that actually happens, if the way they relate to how it happened is pathological, then that's already a red flag. For example, it can be that a little girl was raped and killed in the neighborhood. And of course people are upset with that. Rightfully so. But if now people are only talking about this and they ignore all the other violations in the community, now you know that this is pathological. Yes, that little girl was raped and killed, was very wrong. But on a daily basis, children who are alive are being abused and molested in the same community. But nobody even talks about it. Or it can be that there is this economic recession going on. But at the same time, you have a lot of money going missing in the government and in many corporations. So there's a lot of money laundering and theft going on, which is the cause of the economic recession. But nobody talks about the cause of it, only murmur and complain about how high the prices are now. So even when people are insisting on something that's factual, that doesn't mean that they are right. Because if they insist on something that's factual, but the relationship to that factual thing is unhealthy or not constructive, that's also a red flag. And listen, sometimes people will agree together to target someone amongst them so that they don't have to deal with anything else. I'm telling you, such things happen. There are times you become the victim of scapegoating and the community allows it to happen because at least there's ease, because there's an outlet for the negative tension. And then the community will stick to blame you so that they don't have to be responsible for allowing bad things to happen to you. You are wounded and attacked and you're not able to cope with it, it's too much for you, and they just allow you to crash mentally and also physically, because then all the bad attention goes to you and they're off the hook and what you notice is their nonsense. I'm telling you, when a story doesn't add up, or when people's attitude towards something doesn't add up, and they're invested in the same attitude or belief that doesn't add up, lower contact peacefully and move away. You'll spare yourself a lot of unnecessary dangers and retaliation. I'm telling you, some people questioned openly things that didn't add up, and they ended up in prison for things they didn't do, or they ended up dying as a result of homicide. Worldlings as a group can be very dangerous when they have to face disappointment or when they have to face painful situations. So beware, be at peace.